Welcome back to Daily DeFi. Today is April 7th of 2021, Wednesday. We'll be covering 3 altcoins in the DeFi space doing quite well: Chainlink, Injective, and Flamingo. Pretty much the whole DeFi market as far as altcoins go is quite sideways today. We're just consolidating as Bitcoin does and kind of waiting for this big pop that we hopefully will see, but we could also see a breakdown. Yesterday we talked about some technical analysis, so go check that out. Also, the BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes. We'll talk about an article from him and then this article from Ripple. But first, DeFi Pulse and juicy NFTs. So the total value locked in DeFi keeps up above $50 billion. Good to see, 52.04 billion. Compound dominance staying steady at 18.12%. DeFi Pulse Index at 444.56. You can see DeFi Pulse Index is down a little bit on the daily, as kind of most of the market, as I said, nothing's really popping off too much. Pretty much everything's just a bit sideways today. So Juicy NFTs, this is a great website to kind of keep your finger on the pulse of the NFT market. 738,000, right around 739,000, down about 10% on the daily. CryptoPunks still holding that top spot. I really think these are going to be a huge moving forward. You see people using them as their profile pictures, and it's an interesting collection. And again, if you want to see a detailed video on how the CryptoPunks thing kind of played out, I find it very interesting. I'd be happy to make that, because they basically gave them away for free, and now they're going for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So now this article from Cointelegraph: Ripple wins access to SEC Security Exchange Commission discussions on defining crypto assets as securities. So yesterday I did some technical analysis on XRP, basically showing what was happening historically, and then also what is happening because of this, what was happening in anticipation of the meeting yesterday, and it really popped off back to $1 after a lot of people said it was dead, all these different things. But it's an interesting play, because in my opinion it isn't my favorite coin whatsoever. But when I first got into crypto, the idea that this would kind of be improving on the current banking system was very interesting, because actual banks were using this, whereas a lot of other projects just promise a lot of big things but don't actually have any real-world use cases. So you see Ripple has been guaranteed access to U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's documents expressing the agency's interpretation or views on the subject of crypto assets. According to Law 60, U.S. Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn granted the defendant's motion in large part, determining that SEC minutes or memos concerning crypto are likely discoverable. Netburn asserted staff-to-staff email communications did not need to be produced. So essentially, it's basically good on the side of XRP in this. We will be following this suit very, very closely. It's kind of this big contention between, okay, what is really trading as a security versus what's going on in the blockchain space. What's a tokenized version of a security? And it creates for an interesting kind of dynamic and situation. So moving on to Decrypt, former BitMEX CEO surrenders to face trial in the U.S. So this is a massive issue with Mr. Arthur Hayes. Part of the issues is these centralized exchanges fall victim to this. When you have a face attached to an exchange, that's one of the things where I love Binance, but having a face attached to an exchange like CZ Binance, who owns that exchange, or Brian Brooks of Coinbase. In Coinbase is obviously very, very transparent. They're having their public listing here in a little bit, but this is a massive issue. With these centralized exchanges, is this potential issue of violating the Bank Secrecy Act. And one of the things Arthur Hayes was doing is not having the proper KYC, know your customer laws, in all the countries. So if you're going to have an exchange that's open to a mass amount of countries, you have to look at, okay, what are all the laws in this? Whereas if you're looking at a decentralized exchange, something like Uniswap, nobody owns it, so you cannot regulate it. That is the beauty of Uniswap. I think Uniswap will be around much longer than any centralized exchange, and people will move to it, especially as fees lower. We're still in the early days of this, guys. We're still kind of in the Stone Age times of cryptocurrency. This is where decentralized exchanges are just kind of, people are just starting to understand how to use them in relative terms. Obviously, in the crypto, like if you were just looking at it in the vacuum of cryptocurrency space, yes, a lot of people know how to use Uniswap, people know how to use decentralized exchanges, but go into your local coffee shop. How many of those people do you think knows how to use Uniswap if you asked them? How many of those people do you even think how to use BitMEX or Binance? Not a lot. So moving on from here, so you can see these top DeFi coins. Nothing's really popping off that much, but anything that is, we're going to be covering. So Flamingo, you can see there, 72% on the weekly, 16% on the daily. PlaySoft's doing decent. Injective, I wanted to cover because I haven't talked about this one in a while, and since Coinbase is kind of backing this one, I think it's an interesting play. And then also Chainlink. So let's get right into it. Chainlink is up about 9% on the daily, right around $35. My price target for this is $100 this bull run. Obviously not financial advice, not investment advice, but look at the charts, do your own research. I can maybe do another technical analysis video explaining why I believe this, but yeah, that's my price target. This is easily, in my opinion, a $100 billion market cap project. Easily. It just depends on your time horizon. So, right now it's at $14.5 billion. Let's see, about 42% of circulating supply to max supply. Let's zoom out. Man, this is pretty crazy. Yeah, it popped off here. So I think everyone is familiar with Chainlink. I've talked about a lot of other oracles on this channel, but essentially for any of these decentralized exchanges to really do well, like Uniswap we are just talking about, you need a proper oracle. You need data feeds that don't have human error. And that's really what oracles are doing. It just depends on which one you like the best. So Injective Protocol, INJ, rank 197, $230 million market cap. Let's see, volume is around 57 million. Up about just 5% on the daily. Yeah, Injective's nice because Coinbase Ventures is backing them. Let's see what's going on here. Where did it start this off at? Yeah, just under $1. So we've done about around a 15x at this peak. Yeah, around a 15x. So this is an interesting project. I can do an in-depth video on this as well. But yeah, Injective I definitely like. In my opinion, Injective can be a $2.5 billion project. So I could see 10x from here. So like around $130, $140 in this bull run. Flamingo FLM ranked 301, market cap 165 million. I've done a deep dive video on this one. This is kind of like on Neo. They're trying to do some DeFi. Not my favorite project, but they are doing decent on the daily time frame, and it's fairly low to mid market cap, 165 million. It all depends on how much you believe in Neo. I'm not the biggest fan, but yeah, you can form your own opinion. Um, I'm not going to give any price predictions on this, but let me know what yours are in the description, as well as your price predictions for Chainlink and Injective. So that's all for today's Daily DeFi. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and whatnot. Invest global, and until next time.